Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors were facing serious problems at center, and finally managed to sign Al Horford. Even though he's a veteran, he brought experience, a strong presence in the paint, and dynamism to the Warriors. The Warriors strengthened their roster, but Al Horford was the best signing of the season because the Warriors now have an elite center. But he can't be on the court every game to manage the workload and avoid injuries. And the Warriors without Al Horford are a different team and need to constantly improvise with Draymond Green at the position. So, Al Horford was a golden signing. And we hope the Warriors sign another center in the upcoming free agency to alternate with Al Horford. The Golden State Warriors started the 2025-26 NBA season with a hectic schedule. Where most NBA teams played 2 games, the Golden State Warriors had 3 matchups to start the season. While the Dubs began the regular season with 2 phenomenal wins against the Los Angeles Lakers and Denver Nuggets, they had no answer for the Portland Trail Blazers. After all, the Warriors were handed a blowout 139-119 loss by the Trailblazers. Al Horford has already emerged as a key player for the Golden State Warriors. Aside from fatigue, the most notable thing from the Warriors' 20-point defeat against the Trailblazers was the absence of 39-year-old Al Horford. Head coach Steve Kerr rested Horford versus the Trailblazers due to left toe injury management. While it was a load management decision, the Warriors missed Horford's presence on the court. Even in the twilight years of his career, Horford is a threat on both ends of the floor. In his absence, the Trailblazers dominated on both ends. Thus, proving that the Warriors may be the dark horse candidate to win the 2026 NBA championship, but Horford is key to it. Horford has averaged 9.0 points, 4.0 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game while shooting 46.7% from the field and 50% from the three-point line for the Warriors. Warriors have growing Brandon Podziemski problem after beatdown from Trailblazers. Aim 2. The Golden State Warriors have suffered their first loss of the season, having had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 139-119 blowout loss to the Portland Trailblazers at Moda Center on Friday night. While Jonathan Kuminga continued to impress with some highlight plays and another productive performance, the form of fellow youngster Brandon Podziemski continues to be a growing concern after a quiet display from the third-year guard. Warriors have a Brandon Podziemski problem just 3 games into the season. After averaging 9.0 points on 30% three-point shooting over back-to-back wins against the Los Angeles Lakers and Denver Nuggets, Podziemski lost his starting role on Friday as Steve Kerr started Quinton Post alongside Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, Kuminga, and Draymond Green. When Podziemski did get into the game, he wasn't his usual effective self, which may have been impacted by an early ankle issue. The 22-year-old had 8 points and 5 rebounds in just over 22 minutes, shooting only 2 of 9 from the floor in a performance that drew the ire of Golden State fans who voiced their disappointment on social media. What's going on with Podziemski? He hasn't looked right so far this season. I'm gonna say this out of fairness, a lot of people asked questions of JK last season with good reason. Safe to say that so far he's taken the steps to address the past criticisms levied at him. I think it's fair to ask that question of Pods. So far, the improvement expected out. Warriors insider Tim Kawakami spoke on Podziemski's stagnation following Thursday's stunning win over the Nuggets, stating that the former 19th overall pick looks the same rather than seeing any identifiable improvement. He looks the same. I don't want to say that in a mean way. There's always this, oh, fix this, and he's improved this, and he looks the same, which is, Steve Kerr loves it, and it helps them a lot often, but there was a reason why he wasn't there in the close, because he wasn't really moving the defense. In fairness to Podziemski, there were very few positives to take from Golden State's performance on Friday as Portland put the Chauncey Billups controversy behind them to pour in 111 points in the final 3 periods. Stephen Curry continued on from his hot close to Thursday's game with more mesmerizing shot-making as part of 16 first-quarter points, with the 2x MVP finishing with 35 in 27 minutes on 12 of 22 shooting from the floor and 7 of 14 from three-point range. Kuminga had one of the dunks of the early season over Trailblazers center Donovan Clingan during the second quarter, finishing with another 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists on 4 of 7 shooting while going a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line. Beyond Curry and Kuminga, it was fairly bleak viewing from a Warrior perspective, particularly defensively, where they allowed the Trailblazers to shoot 53.8% from the floor and 47.1% from three-point range. They'll now have the weekend off to regroup ahead of hosting the Memphis Grizzlies on Monday, with Podziemski's form and role increasingly under the microscope following a rough start to the season. Warriors' Steve Kerr admits Draymond Green playing center isn't an 82-game thing. Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr is rolling with his current starting five, but he's already warning that the small ball experiment won't last all season long. The Warriors will stick with the same starting lineup for their Friday night matchup against the Portland Trail Blazers. Kerr confirmed that Stephen Curry, Brandon Podziemski, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, and Draymond Green will open the game. This group has helped Golden State start the season with a perfect 2-0 record, including wins over the Lakers and an overtime thriller against the Denver Nuggets. However, Kerr made it clear this isn't a permanent solution. The Draymond at the 5 thing can't be an 82-game thing, the Golden State coach stated, according to ESPN's Anthony Slater. While Green's defensive versatility and basketball IQ make him effective at center, his 6'6" frame creates challenges when facing bigger opponents night after night. Green himself has been candid about the physical toll of playing center regularly. Playing the 5, it's too much. And I'm always down to do it, as you know, bro, like any challenge you're talking about, but it's a hard battle every night. Guys who outweigh me by 60 to 80 pounds, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6, 7 inches taller than me, Green said earlier. Playing Green at center works great in short stretches. The Warriors famously used this strategy during their championship runs with the death lineup that changed how teams think about small ball basketball. But asking Green to battle 7-footers for 82 games would wear him down physically. In Thursday's win over Denver, Kerr showed his alternative plan by using a bigger lineup with Green and Al Horford on the court together. That combination somewhat helped the Warriors handle Nikola Jokic and secure the victory. The Warriors get a boost with Moses Moody making his season debut against Portland. According to Slater, Moody missed the first 2 games with a calf injury but is expected to play around 20 minutes. His return gives the Warriors another wing defender and shooter. Pat Spencer has found himself outside the Warriors' rotation to start the season. Spencer did not do a ton for the Warriors last season, but he appeared in 39 games and averaged roughly 6.5 minutes per game while shooting 40.6% on the year and averaging 2.5 points per game. He is not a massive contributor by any stretch, yet the fact that he has been iced out so far this season and has not played a single minute doesn't bode well for his playing time going forward. Really, it seems that he has clearly been eclipsed on the depth chart by rookie Will Richard. The rookie out of the University of Florida had a really strong preseason and has looked solid in his first 2 games of the regular season even if the numbers don't wholly show it yet. Richard even earned himself the game ball for his efforts in the regular season opener against Los Angeles, having scored his first NBA bucket. Richard came into the NBA with a lot of experience in college which has clearly seemed to translate early on. Head coach Steve Kerr likened him to San Francisco 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy because they both came into their respective leagues ready to play thanks to their extensive college experience. Spencer is not the only Warrior player fans have grown accustomed to that has been left out in the cold to start the season. Third-year big Tracy Jackson-Davis has also not played at all, which brings his future on the team into question. Jackson-Davis averaged over 15 minutes per game in each of his first 2 years, but by the end of last season it was clear that he was losing favor with head coach Steve Kerr, and that's continued to start this campaign. Maybe Spencer and Jackson-Davis will see more playing time on Friday night as the Warriors take on the Portland Trail Blazers in their first back-to-back of the season. Kerr seems likely to rest some of his star players more after a thrilling overtime win over the Denver Nuggets on Thursday, so he may utilize more of his bench as a result. Takeaways from Warriors' loss to the Trailblazers. The Golden State Warriors suffered their first defeat of the season, falling 139-119 to the Portland Trailblazers. Despite Stephen Curry's impressive performance, 35 points, including 7 of 13 from deep, the Warriors' poor miscues and turnovers were the main cause of a disastrous game. This marks Portland's first victory over the Warriors in 4 seasons, leading to much intrigue about how Golden State will match up against the Blazers' length and athleticism going forward. The Warriors were outworked by the Trailblazers. The second half of a back-to-back and 3 games in 4 nights to start the season is pretty intense for any team, and Golden State walks away with a 2-1 record and the weekend off to recharge. Curry mentioned in the post-game that he feels the Warriors won the week. His heroics, including an early 8-0 personal run, couldn't hide the broader fatigue as his supporting cast faltered. Jonathan Kuminga has looked really good as a playmaker and at getting easy open threes, and he's explosive in transition. He scored 16 points and grabbed 8 rebounds against the Blazers but took only 7 shots. Against a young and gunslinging team like Portland, matching their physicality is the best approach, and Kuminga should have done more in that regard. The same goes for Jimmy Butler, who scored 14 points on just 7 attempts. Add in 25 turnovers that Portland turned into 25 points, and it's tough for any team to bounce back. Shooting guard depth must step up consistently. Shooting guard depth is currently inconsistent, especially before the return of DeAnthony Melton and Seth Curry. Podziemski has shot 36% from the field and 30% from 3 over 3 games. Will Richard has played well, but as a rookie, he doesn't yet rank above Podziemski unless he continues impressive performances. Moses Moody made his season debut against Portland, still getting his legs under him at NBA speed, and Buddy Hield, after 17 points on opening night, scored only 2 in 12 minutes against the Blazers. The biggest red flag is Podziemski. Quotes about being the next face of Golden State and better than Curry are the kinds of takes that demand proof. It's not just about a good game every 7 to 10 games but about real efficiency and consistency. After 3 games, that's still something we haven't seen from Podziemski. Weekend off before another back-to-back. The flaws the Warriors have were definitely amplified by fatigue, but it's games like this that test championship resolve. Finding that inner strength to will a win is how championship teams are built. Maintaining sharp execution, limiting turnovers, and preventing easy looks for the opponent are crucial. The Trailblazers aren't the only team with elite speed and athleticism, and finding that edge, especially in the second half of back-to-backs, will be a key mental focus for Golden State. They have the next couple of days off before another back-to-back against the Memphis Grizzlies and the Los Angeles Clippers. Draymond Green breaks down Golden State Warriors' future. On a recent episode of Network with Rich Kleiman, Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green sat down for an unfiltered conversation about his career, his teammates, and the evolution of the Warriors dynasty. From Klay Thompson's decision to leave for Dallas and his bond with Stephen Curry, to his reflections on Bob Myers, Steve Kerr, and the Warriors' future, Green, 35, opened up with his signature honesty and told it like it is. Green on the worst year as a Warrior, 2019 to 2020. One of the worst feelings I ever had is the year we sucked. It was right after Kevin Durant, left. Klay was hurt, Steph was hurt. We were awful. And I had zero interest in playing. I'm like, we just came off of 5 straight NBA finals, playing with the best team in the world. And now I'm out here playing with, I think, at least 10 or 11 of the guys that we were playing with were out of the league within a year. Green on the Warriors' chances in 2025 to 26. We got Steph, Jimmy, myself, you know? When I take a step back and I look at it, I'm like, man, who can't we match up with? I'll take us against anyone. Green on getting the call from Klay Thompson. You know, that last year he was here, it wasn't Klay. Like, he didn't have his same joy, and when he first called, I said, this Klay, he about to tell me he is leaving. And I answered the phone, and he said, Dre, I'm leaving. And I was like, man, where to? He was like, you know, I've been in California pretty much my whole life. I just want to go try something different. And I think Dallas would be a great way for me to try it. Still had an opportunity to compete for championships. You know, they got Luka, they got Kyrie. But I just think it's the right thing for me. Green on supporting Thompson's decision. Now, in most cases, you'd be like, man, you sure? We can still do that. And I was just like, that's great. I'm so happy for him because no part of me wanted to try to talk him into staying, because I knew he needed that so much for him. It was so much bigger than, man, I just want to finish with you guys and finish as a Warrior. He needed that for him. Green's potential future in media. I definitely am building a media business. I want to continue to stay around the game, and speak the game, and teach the game and give to the game in any way that I can. That doesn't always have to be the way we see it today, no. Media is constantly changing. Opportunities are constantly growing. And so to even act like I know what that looks like 10 years from now, I don't. Green on playing with Stephen Curry. There is zero pressure on me to do anything that Steph Curry does, and we understand that, and we carry that delicately. And guess what? When I cross some line, I have no problem going to sit in his face and saying, I'm sorry. Add that up. I know how hard this has made it on you. I'm going to fix it. Green on Bob Myers' departure. When Bob left, that was tough for me. You talk about somebody that really believed in me when nobody else did, that was Bob. And so to see him go, it was like, damn, man, that's family walking out the door. Green on Steve Kerr and Jonathan Kuminga. Steve and JK, that's been a process. You've got a young player who wants to be great, and a coach who has coached greatness. That balance isn't always smooth. But it's love. Steve is pushing him, and JK is figuring it out. That's what growth looks like. Green on his time in the NBA. And if I'm honest, you know, going into last year, I was like, man, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna do this. Green's previous feelings were understandable. He's 35 years old. He has faced doubt regarding his future in the NBA amid his passion for the game,